video is sponsored by Keeps. One of the reasons that people keep saying I look like Mark Riblet is because of my hairstyle, obviously. I ended up growing my hair out a lot after I got out of high school because I was in ROTC at the time and I always had to get really geeky looking crew cuts. Never again. 2 out of 3 men will experience hair loss of some kind by the time they reach age 35. It's important to get ahead of it if you notice it, but of course, you might have a whole bunch of other things that you have that take a priority in your life. That's why Keeps makes it easy for you, and you can do everything from the comfort of your own home. Keeps.com will hook you up with a licensed physician. They'll take a look at what you got going on, and if you need treatment, they'll prescribe you it. If you get medication, it gets shipped right to your door. If all of this sounds easy to you, it's because it is easy. There's not much else to it. If you notice something, get ahead of it now. Go to keeps.com/Gregor. You'll get 50% off of your order. Link in the description if you're interested. Thanks again to Keeps for sponsoring this video. So, dudes, Video Game Donkey once said that
the bar for multiplayer games is so low right now that people are playing Valorant.
Now, some people might take this as a dig at Valorant as a game, but I don't think Donkey meant it the way that people thought. I think Donkey was really trying to point out the current state of competitive FPS games on the market right now. And if we look at what's available, there really isn't a lot. You've got Rainbow Six Siege, which is infested with cheaters. You got Overwatch, which has been out for a while, and yeah, it still has an active player base, but let's be honest, people are basically just waiting on Overwatch 2 to come out. The most recent Battlefield games enjoy smaller niche communities, and Battlefield 2042 looks like it wants to be every single shooter on the market at the same time. Call of Duty Vanguard looks like dog meat. There's a bunch of nerdy tactical bro FPSs coming out like 0 Hour that 5 people are gonna play. What do a lot of these games have in common? Well, they all either have smaller focused niche audiences where they play to their base or they try to please everybody and attract a small group of people based off of sheer volume of advertising and maybe the uniqueness of their mechanics. Siege was initially marketed as a tactical bro shooter for milsim nerds that wanted to play a game that sort of felt like you were participating in a police raid. Then everybody figured out that 5 people stacking up on a doorway and slowly breaching and clearing like you were LARPing as a SWAT team is a really fucking ineffective way to play the game. There was enough of a dude on the couch audience to keep it going for a while, but console Siege sucks, so that's not as enticing anymore. And with no crossplay, you can't play with your friends who switch to PC. But you can play Splitgate, Apex, or Warzone, all for free with your buddy who's got a PlayStation, even if he doesn't have a PC. Not to mention, crossplay in Siege would probably be a complete disaster because it would basically mandate people to play with a mouse and keyboard, which is already a massive pain in the dick, so what's the point in even buying the game? Siege has so much going against it compared to its competition, and half the reason it's still somewhat popular is because its mechanics are so unique, but a major factor contributing to how difficult it is to advertise and market is also how freaking complicated it is. So it's a double-edged sword. How do you make a game complicated with a high skill ceiling that separates good players from bad players while still feel rewarding and fun? How do you avoid this atmosphere that Siege has, where you have casuals and sweaty people screaming at each other 24/7, claiming that one side is ruining the game? You make a game called Valorant. It has complexity that feels attainable. In Val, when you get slammed from a million miles away, you know that the guy who killed you has pretty decent gun skill. The difference between an experienced and not so experienced Valorant player in terms of gunfighting is pretty night and day. Yeah, you might get by with some easy to get kills here and there off of your mechanical aim alone, but if you don't know Valorant specific techniques like jiggling and counter strafing, you're gonna get chewed up. In Siege, the mechanic that democratizes gunplay is one-shot headshot. If you can hit a small target that's pretty hard to hit, you win the gunfight. In Val, it's abilities. If you use your utility at the right time and at the right place, and maybe with a little bit of help from your friends, you win the gunfight. Whereas Siege's abilities feel like they're obstacles in the way of gunfights, Valorant abilities feel like they're stepping stones to gunfights. This is a lot like CSGO. You can't do a site execute properly without good smokes, without good flashes, without good mollies to clear out defender hiding spots. You gotta rehearse that shit with your team and really coordinate it. And that ability for teams to coordinate specific grenade placements, executes, and holds at a competitive level is what makes CSGO such a popular esport. The problem is that shit is not very accessible to the average player to learn. In CSGO, you gotta go into a custom game, aim at the wooden plank adjacent to the window at a 45-degree angle during your cousin's wedding while the sun's halfway down, 55 seconds to liftoff. Who the fuck has the time to do this? Valorant solved this problem by quote-unquote making it more casual by adding Omen. He goes into a ghost mode where he can place the smoke exactly where you want, and now you can go back to shooting people. Is it too casual to be able to put a smoke wherever you want? Or is it just efficient and fucking convenient? And who's to say you can't do more? Who's to say you can't do lineups? What if I told you there was a character that rewarded looking at the window adjacent to the wall with a drag coefficient of 0.25? What if there was a character that was built around— oh wait, she's Viper. Just play Viper. Valorant offers straightforward characters and not so straightforward characters for people that want to put in the time if they like to. I think that Siege's learning curve used to be part of its appeal, but more and more, it seems that it's keeping people from wanting to play the game at all, and the people that still play it gatekeep it like fucking crazy, so yeah, good luck learning it. In Siege, there are so many things you can do that constitutes as fucking up. Make sure you hit the little corner pieces on the Maverick wall or it won't trick. Use 4 shots to make a shotgun rotate or you're wasting ammo. Shoot the stuff out of the back of the mirror window or your visibility will be limited. Put the barbed wire down the staircase so they can't get rid of it for free. There are just so many things in Siege that you just do not get explained to you unless you go watch a Twitch stream or something. It always feels like I'm getting lectured when I play Siege. Like, I appreciate the information, but I'm really gonna need to take a look at this one again for the exam because I'm probably gonna forget. In Valorant, when you learn a new technique with a character, it changes the way that you experience a given round. If you learn a Viper Orb, you can take some slack off of your Omen's back and let them smoke an off angle that the defenders may not expect, which forces them to change their strategy. Learning Siege feels like studying for a degree in quantum mechanics. Learning Valorant feels like you're learning a sport, like you're learning a game. Every little thing you learn adds more and more tools to your arsenal that further unlocks the complex and enticing world of tac shooters, where little things go a long way, but the knowledge doesn't feel out of reach for the average person because at their core, the character designs are simple at face value, which brings me to my next point.
Oh, Greg! Oh, Greg!
Characters that offer something for everyone. Remember how I said that Omen is a more straightforward smoke character, while Viper is a little bit more indirect and complex? Well, Valorant offers characters for virtually any kind of person. Now, an idiot will look at these two flashes and go, they both flash, there is no difference. Well, this guy can flash around corners really quickly, and the other guy can yeet the flashes. Distinct differences between the way that these two characters interact with the sandbox, which changes the way they play. Some characters have kits that are completely unique in their own way that don't incorporate CSGO abilities at all, like Sage, whose whole kit is centered around delay and healing. Jet can go knives and jump into the air and become a fucking attack helicopter. Brimstone has a giant fucking laser beam from outer space. There are lots of interesting characters in Siege, but a lot of them interact with their environments in pretty similar ways to each other. Heartbreachers open the wall from over here, or they open it from up here. Bandit denies the wall from up here. Cade denies the wall from over there. Oh, wow. Wait, oh, what? Okay, so if she gets an interrogation, she can give everybody wall hacks? Dude, that's crazy. Nope, she's dog shit. She doesn't have any utility. Oh. Well, that's okay. This guy seems cool. He can make himself immune to flashes and see through smokes. No, but he sucks too. He doesn't have any utility. Oh. Well, this character can go invisible. Dog shit. No utility. Can I play who I want? I can't. In Siege, if you can't blow shit up or keep shit from getting blown up, you're useless. It almost feels like real life in a bad way. Try to be unique at your job, and yeah, you're gonna stand out from sheer difference, but then your boss will tell you corporate wants you to do it this way. Now go blow up the deployable shield. In Val, everyone can contribute in their own unique kind of way, even if some characters might be more efficient in some instances than others. It feels a lot less restrictive and ensures that people don't spend half of their brain capacity just figuring out what character should I buy, please help streamer.
It's almost like Riot Games has over a decade of experience in the esports community or something, and created one of the most popular and profitable esports of all time. Riot made a game where the abilities and their usage coincide with the gunplay. Other games tried to emulate abilities and failed horribly, like Black Ops 4. And I've already been over how in Siege, the ideas clash so hard where you have the most aim-centric mechanic of all time, one-shot headshot,
but the gadgets are supposed to be the most important aspect. Valorant hit a perfect middle ground where the abilities have impact, but there are usually counters and outplay potential. Except for Sky. Sky's just broken. Valorant esports pulls so much viewership during its tournaments because the gunplay is exciting and fun to watch, but it also has an underbelly of strategy to it that purists can appreciate.
Which brings me to my final point. Valorant's viewer experience is very well done.
Think of traditional sports. If you don't know a fucking thing about football, You're still a human being. You can look at a person who exhibits a tremendous feat of athleticism that makes you go, oh, that was impressive. Not a lot of people can do what this guy just did. Now, you might not think it out loud, but that's what's going on in the back of your head. At face value, somebody can display an impressive feat, and that can be entertaining. Dig deeper, and you'll find an entire team of people around that individual that helps create the environment to let this extraordinary thing happen. There are specifics at the tactics and strategic levels of every professional sport that avid fans can appreciate on top of the surface level parts. Valorant has that, with exciting moments of gunplay and the ability usage that facilitates those plays. Overwatch is a bunch of random Pixar characters exploding stuff at each other, and Siege's maps are so goddamn complex that half the time the spectator can't even keep up with where the gunfighting is. For a game to be a good esport, it has to be fun to play and fun to watch. Valorant does this well. Valorant also has a tremendously robust support system surrounding it called Riot Games. It's taken advantage of CSGO's waning popularity and age, and has made it into a game that's popular with a more diverse range of people. Valorant is an extremely popular game, and it's going to remain that way for some time.